Hello and welcome to All Backed Up. I'm your host Dylan and I'm here with Mark and Kyaw this week. Say hello, both of you. I didn't give you any time.
Hello.
You go. Hello. I was going to say you go first, Kyaw, but you just went first.
Well, you just said say hello, both of you. So,
Hello, both of you.
nice, great.
Yeah.
We're going to be continuing on with our new theme of just talking about games in our backlog. I think this will be an especially fun episode because, Kyaw, have you done one of these ones yet?
No, it's my first one on the new format.
And you've actually got an entire game to talk about, I believe.
Wow, yes.
Which...
A short game, but an entire game, yes.
I would wager it's one of the best games of the last 3-4 years.
Yeah,
Hands down.
I would agree with this. But as we all know, I am biased. So, I mean, why don't we just get straight into it? We'll just go for... Kyaw, tell us your opinions. Tell us your game and then your opinions.
Yes, so I played Titanfall 2 for the past, I'd say, month. I really stretched that game out. But it was really mostly two sittings, so...
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not a long game. I did the campaign for Titanfall 2 in one sitting.
Yeah. I think I did it in like 5 hours, at least according to the Origin timer.
That seems about right.
It didn't feel like that long actually. It felt even shorter. I think
it just keeps going.
It goes. It's so good. Oh my god.
The pacing is incredible. Yeah, I've kind of want to compare it to, actually, I just woke up this morning, I was just thinking, what can I compare it to? And it's more like Portal 1 or Portal 2, where it's just, they chuck you in and then they ramp up, the craziness and the resources available to you over time. And I think it's kind of close to Portal 1's length as well.
Yeah, that's probably... They're both kind of one-sitting games. Portal 1's maybe a bit shorter, I would say.
Yeah?
Probably. It probably sits between Portal 1 and 2, I reckon, in length. Because Portal 2's a bit longer, isn't it?
Yeah. I think in Portal 1 you spend more time figuring out how to work things out than actually progressing, right? That's probably why it's a bit longer.
I think if you're relatively good at puzzles, you can get through Portal 1 in 3-4 hours, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so as it has been in your backlog. Why did you sleep on Titanfall 2? Why is it taking you? It came out late 2016. So why is it taking you 2.5 years to play?
Well, I actually only
one of the best
bought
games
it recently in an Origin sale. So I think it was like 80% off or something. So I say recently, I bought it a year ago.
But I mean, you had I got it when we lived together, right? So you saw me playing it, I think.
Yeah, I even got the first Titanfall for free, right? And I played it for a bit.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is one of those games that I think it's strange because it's in the backlog for lots of people, I think, but for you especially, Kyaw. I mean, I've been going on about this game for so long, so it seems odd to have left it so long, but I'm really glad that now you have played it. Now I think everybody's played it now, right? Has Jack played Titanfall 2?
I believe Jack has played it, yeah.
I'd hope so, otherwise we'll just have to cancel everything.
I think
so good.
What got to me finally was just Apex Legends. I think that really pushed me to play the game finally.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting point, because what you were just saying there, Dylan, about how it actually is weirdly in a lot of people's backlogs, is since Apex Legends has come out, on every video game podcast I listen to, at least one person has gone, oh yeah, now I've finally decided to play the campaign to Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people slept on the campaign for Titanfall 2. And
which is mad, because it received nothing but praise. Everything about it was kind of just, Titanfall 2's campaign is practically perfect. It's incredible.
It's so good.
And people were just like, blah, 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 I'll leave it. I don't need a perfect campaign. What's the point?
People don't play campaigns. We know this.
See, I know.
Wrong.
I never understand that. I think we've spoken about this before on the show. Anytime I get a multiplayer game, I always play the campaign first.
Yeah.
If something like Titanfall or Halo, anything like that, I play the campaign first.
Yeah, totally. It gives you an opportunity to try all the weapons, right? That's Call of Duty, Halo, Titanfall 2, like all games where you play the campaign, you get a grip of all the weapons, and then you can get into the multiplayer and be like, right, well, I know that I like the DMR, I know that I like the R301, I know that I like whatever, a Call of Duty gun.
Yeah.
P45. That's a gun.
Yeah.
What's
that is a
the
gun.
model 1886?
Oh, mate. Dual fucking 1886 and Akimbos, whatever the hell they were.
Everybody's favourite.
Everybody's favourite.
When I was playing Titanfall 2, my housemate, Jamie, came in and asked me, what's that gun? It just sounds so good. And it was the one that spools up and shoots just bullets. I think there's a devotion. You have to it's like a little charging time before you spew out bullets, and it's just like, oh, the guns sound amazing in this game, and the gunplay is also really, really good.
Yeah, that's one of the things that feels so good about it, right? Is that it's one of those games that using their guns is almost half the fun, just like shooting. But
also,
I think like the barrier for entry to do cool stuff with the gunplay as well is like way lower than you'd expect. Like I think I remember when I played it, like within 20 minutes, texting you, Dylan, just being like, I was in a corridor, there was a guy running at me, so I wall ran along the corridor, jumped down behind him, and while I was flying through the air, shot him twice in the back of the head with a shotgun and killed him. And I felt literally like Neo in the Matrix. And that was within like 20 minutes of starting the game.
Yeah, it's again just one of those things that like, and I mean, I'll let you say all your opinions in a minute, Chalk, because I feel like I've really stepped on you here.
No, I think Dylan, you have been waiting for an opportunity to talk about Titanfall 2 on some sort of recorded media for like 4 years, and the game's only been out for 2.5.
But even since they announced it, to be fair, I think they announced it while we were doing. Oh no, I think
it would have been out when we were doing it. Yeah,
but I remember when the trailer came out, being just mad for it because it was a fucking sick trailer.
Such a good trailer.
that like what you're saying about sort of you can feel like the hero, you can feel like like a pilot. They've done that so unbelievably well in it that like the grappling and all that sort of stuff is so intuitive. So I was watching this. There was this video for like how to play as Pathfinder or whatever in Apex Legends. And it was like, this is how you use the grapple to the best effect. And it's just like, come on, man. You should know that already. Like, that Titanfall, I think, it feels so intuitive that you just sort of know all those things. So I found that all the tips he was doing, it's just like, that's just how you use a grappling hook, right? And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that Titanfall 2 had sort of a smaller fan base that was, because it was smaller, was a little bit more, I don't know, adept at these sort of things or something like that. But you feel like everybody who played it kind of just knew how to use that stuff. You saw people doing ridiculous things all the time. And that was fun about it, like someone flinging themselves across the entire map with the grappling hook, just in your standard match, not even on like a stream with some mental superpowered streamer. Just people doing these absolutely like insane feats. And feeling like you can do that, I think, is one of the big parts of why it's so good. Because, you know, flying like that is real fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's everything just comes quite naturally to you. I think it's just the way the game was structured as well. With I think you started off without the pilot boots, right?
Yeah, you start off with basically nothing while it sort of reconfigures, don't you?
Yeah. And then after that, it's just like, yep, we'll run that, we'll run this, shoot them from the back, shoot them from the top.
And I think the gauntlet really helps, doesn't it? Like,
oh man, so when I first downloaded the game, when I was downloading the game, you can only play the gauntlet level. So I just
just what genius design.
I thought you could play more after, but I was just playing the gauntlet for a long time and then didn't realize the game had finished downloading.
Yeah, same. I did the exact same. Did you see Chaw? I know you saw it, Mark. but I posted someone got that, like, the new world record in the Gauntlet the other day.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
12 seconds exactly, and it's just like, that man did not make a single mistake.
And also did a bunch of fucking source engine physics manipulations to get up to, like, insane fucking speeds.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. Also, yeah, sure. This game's made in the source engine.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until I looked it up on Wikipedia yesterday, and wow. Right?
How fucking nuts is that? Not only is it an excellent campaign, but it's a campaign that rivals, like, pacing and unique mechanics and, like, genius fucking level design built in the source engine, and it like rivals Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
Is
It's Respawn
Titanfall 2
basically
just Half-Life 3?
Basically. It's Respawn coming in and being like, well, Valve, you ain't doing shit with source. We're going to show you what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
Do you think they can buy the license to Half-Life and make it if they wanted to?
Definitely
Does that
not.
option exist?
God. But, like, could you imagine? Like, the people who brought you I would argue, two of the most significant first-person shooter campaigns since Half-Life 2, which is Call of Duty 4 and Titanfall 2. Imagine they're just like, you know what, we can't do shit, you make Half-Life 3. Could you fucking imagine how it'd be? Oh my god!
And I mean, they've sort of proved that they can... They've got this... The campaign in Titanfall 2, is the story, I guess, is a little bit cliche and a little bit cheesy. But it is incredible, and it does have these, like, incredible world... Like, the world building is really remarkable in it.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of proved that they can work with story, so...
Yeah,
If they
you teach a robot to love, it's
pulled someone on.
standard sci-fi shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cliche, but I think it's
Yeah,
the stuff
but it's-
around it that is really good, right? Like,
Yeah. The Half-Life story is cliche. It's the bits around it that are cool. It's the fucking still world-leading face capture technology and all that other shit that made that story interesting. The actual story is just like, oh yeah, aliens attack. Aliens taking over the world. You're the cliche hero. Save the day.
yeah.
Yeah, it was all the other bits that made that game phenomenal. And fuck, man, if Respawn got to make Half-Life 3,
Oh.
New movement mechanics, what up?
Oh, do love
Dude.
movement mechanics.
I'd be a little disappointed if they literally just made Titanfall 3 but called it Half-Life 3. I feel like I don't know if Gordon Freeman needed to learn wall running for this, but I guess if that's what you guys wanted to do, that's legit.
Yeah, but imagine if you entered into Half-Life 3, you're Gordon Freeman, and then suddenly BT falls from the sky.
It's like, shit!
It's like, wait, what am I playing now? Which
I don't care. I
which
wanna teach
third
this
entry
robot
is
to
this?
love.
So what was the, like, key defining campaign moment for you, Kyaw?
I think that actually there's several, but I'll go with I'll go with the unexpected one first. It was after the level with the assembling of the big environments. The factory of whatever, yeah. There was, like, when you were traversing through those things, and there was, like, big complex areas, big open areas with lots of enemies, and I was just hopping around, like, wall running, just having a blast, like I was having a blast in Doom 3. Not Doom 3, just Doom. Just Doom.
Someone having a blast in Doom 3? That doesn't make any sense.
Nice.
I had a blast from my arse because I kept shitting myself in fear when I was playing it. Does that count?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I was just in my element, it's just jumping around and
Yeah,
just popping
that level
balls.
for me, I didn't realize you could literally just stay on the little thing in the middle, which I wouldn't advise because it's boring. But I would jump off at basically every opportunity because I kind of thought you had to, and so I died a lot on that level. And then I realized, oh wait, I can just take cover in this moving cover instead of running into the fire.
Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't realize this either, so I just ran around a lot and killed dudes.
Yeah.
I killed all the dudes. Why not? Because you can jump around a lot. And it's really great to jump around in Titanfall 2.
This should be the advertising campaign for Titanfall 2.
It's such a novel piece of level design, and then it has, like, its own culmination where you get to the end and then you're just in that like prefabbed town and you have to have that really big boss fight against all those dudes.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a super clever way of just like of progressing through the level. And
You're seeing the boss fight like built around you.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
man, yeah.
just fucking rad. What was the okay, next favourite bit?
You it's the time travel bit. Come on.
Fuck, it's so good.
What was that noise, Mark?
That was me being just so hype about Titanfall 2. I'm probably going to have to play Titanfall 2's campaign again.
I think I might have to as well.
You can select levels, right? So you can visit that level. if you
Why
want. But,
select
I mean,
levels?
come
Just
on,
play it
you
all.
gotta do it all. You gotta do it all.
Just play it all. I've got a lot of free time at the moment because Katie's having to do a lot of work from home. So I'm just kind of sitting around trying to amuse myself. So I'm time to play Titanfall 2 again.
It is only 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have all the consoles in the world, so
Play it on
it
each.
can't be hard to entertain yourself.
Oh, imagine if they brought it to the Switch. You could play Titanfall anywhere.
Oh my.
Just imagine how low that frame rate would be. Who wants to play 20 frames a second, 720p Titanfall 2?
Hey man, Source Engine is very well optimized.
It's true, that game is phenomenally well optimised.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
That is
Well-
the thing I've noticed about... This is relevant, I guess. I never really had problems with Titanfall 2's multiplayer being laggy or anything. I had like a few times, but not much. It was never a noticeable thing. But Apex Legends definitely has a issue with... You'll often get on a server that is fucked.
Yeah, I've had a few problems.
Which, yeah, I don't know how that's
guess-
come about, but...
I mean, I think they've literally said, like, 60 players was the best they could do. And, like, I think they've actually come out saying, like, we may have more players later if we can make that work. But, like, I think the reason it's not a 100-player Battle Royale is only because they can't get that many players into the game.
Right.
But imagine, like, if they just had... They come out with a news release just being like, so we made EA $1 billion, so they've just given us money to make the service bigger, and now it's 100 players. We've not improved the technology in any way. We've just bought bigger machines.
I wonder if it's a network problem or if it is just a source loading
It'll be a
problem.
I think it's a combination of the two. So I think they've got like they've pushed it to the limit where like they've got 60 players on, right? That's all they could do. I think the issues that they're getting with lagging are now network problems because
Right, okay.
they've acknowledged this this problem that I think they call like the slow server or something like that. And I don't know if you guys have played enough to have come across it.
No.
But sometimes you'll load in and you'll feel like you're moving ridiculously slowly. And
Weird.
it's just
I
because it
haven't played
lags
the game
in such a
enough.
way that you just feel like you're not like you're running through custard or something. So I think that sort of stuff is a network problem. So I don't think they could really improve the player count with anything other than getting it on the software level. But
I
don't know.
I still can't believe they've got Battle Royale on a Source Engine. Wouldn't have believed it a year ago, 2 years ago.
would you
the
have
shit
believed
they're
that they'd
doing
be
with the
so
Source
big?
engine is just nuts. It doesn't make sense that that engine can still look and feel modern and relevant 15 years later.
That's why they think lots of people, when Apex Legends came out, said that the reason they think it became this rather than Titanfall 3 is because the Source engine is kind of pushed to its limit at this point. So Titanfall 2 was basically the best they could do with what they call the Titanfall engine, I think, because it's a modified Source engine, right?
Yeah,
It's very heavily modified.
And I think they were saying that like there's really nothing else they can get out of it, and so if they were to release Titanfall 3, it would have been no like graphical or like smoothness improvement, you know. And so they kind of wanted to release it now, but didn't have anything done. Is one of the rumors going around.
Right.
Well, now
so,
they're
like-
fully an EA-owned and beloved unit. I'm sure they're going to be forced to make everything in Frostbite, and it's all going to just look a bit like Battlefield.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
I
And
don't.
not have the insane physics, because like that's what makes Titanfall, right? The Source engine lets you do those ridiculous
Yeah.
things and like grapple around in ever decreasing circles.
Yeah, totally.
You wouldn't be able to do that in anything else. So,
although I am getting very excited about a Frostbite Titanfall because it will look hella good.
yeah, but it won't be Titanfall, will it? You can't they'd have to modify it so much to be able to get the ridiculous stuff that you get in Titanfall, like bunny hopping and all this stuff. I just don't think it would work as well in.
Maybe it's possible. It just needs to program in those bits because Battlefield and Frostbite has never been used for that kind of movement.
But I don't think the things that make Titanfall unique, and now that you've played it, I think you'll have a feel for what they are. Because it's quite hard to explain, I think. It's one of those games that the reason people who played it love it is because they've played it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you feel that game, and it's very hard to describe how fun grappling around is, and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that hasn't come from them programming it in. It's come from...
just an inherent property of Source Engine.
Well, like, they've put a grapple in and then been like, okay, so it works kind of how we want it. And then they use it and it's like, but it works like this, which is fun. And like bunny hopping, I think in Titanfall 1 was just an accident. And then they kept it in Titanfall 2. And I don't know if at that point it was intentional. But I think a lot of these things did come a little bit from...
just that code base. And it's a thing. I mean, the Respawn have a long history of using what is effectively modified gold source code base, right? Like all the id Tech engines they were programming for the Call of Duty games up until id Tech 11 or whatever the fuck they're using now is still a heavily gold source derived video game engine. Like they all have that, or it's not id Tech, is it? It's IW Tech they call it. id Tech is the original engine is the Quake 2 engine they were using, and then they use Infinity Ward 10 or whatever the fuck is Call of Duty's programming now, and that was what Respawn were making when they were Infinity Ward. So like they have this long history of taking those old id engines, id Tech 2, Gold Source, eventually Source, like these older PC engines, and turning them into whatever the fuck they want to use next. So seeing them, I think it would be a shame if they had to use Frostbite, because I think it's just not, it doesn't seem to be in their DNA as developers. Like since the very beginning when they were working for Activision, like they used old PC engines because that's what they were into. So like, I think I couldn't. Also, with the amount of money they've just made EA, ostensibly like by accident, and also with like the huge critical acclaim it's got them as well, I couldn't see EA forcing them to use Frostbite.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I think it would be... Although it would be really fun to have Titans in a completely destructible environment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that is true.
That would be like ridiculously exciting.
What if they just make Battlefield 2042 or whatever?
2143.
Yeah, the
they make 2143. That'd be great. Oh my god.
Because there's
if their next game isn't Titanfall 3 or Half-Life 3, I would accept Battlefield 2143.
Yep. I'll be
so
happy with that.
to bring it back and like still talking about Titanfall 2 and still talking about kind of the engine they made it in. Have you heard about how they did affecting cores? Do you know the programming trick they used?
I read it up on Wikipedia, but I'm sure you have a better explanation, so go ahead.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if I have a better explanation than you. I think I also read it on like fucking Kotaku at the time and told.
Okay, well that'll be a better
about
article.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because they basically make the level twice and superimpose it on top of itself.
Yeah,
and you just swap between two different maps as you play, and that's how they can have like the two different maps. Like independently move, and that's why you can like switch into the past or whatever and then appear somewhere else and switch back into the future, and the people will have moved around and shit. And it's just so clever. It's such a clever way to do that. And it makes that's how it like works so seamlessly and feels so fucking good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ever feel like you have to do it at a certain time. Like, it's not, I have to switch time to solve this problem. Because at that point, you can just do it. So, like, if you're in a fight, you can do it as much as you want to solve that fight.
I was mostly just changing timelines to get out of the fights, or not die in the fight.
Yeah,
because there were lots of people near the end of that.
Is it like the first time you like jump into the future, run around to a spot where you'll be behind the guys in the past, reappear back in the past, and they're all facing the wrong way, being like, "He fucking disappeared. Where did he go?" And then you start shooting them, and they're like, "Oh, he's over there. He's over there." And they're all just freaking out because you just keep disappearing and reappearing and like appearing behind them and shit. It's so good.
So damn good. I died a lot at the bit with robots. Like, they explode on you.
Sure. It's Titanfall 2. What do you mean the bit with the robots?
No, in the time traveling level, in the fire, there were like loads of security robots that come alive.
Oh, I vaguely remember that bit, yeah.
Okay.
And well, you didn't have to kill all of them. You can just move on, but I tried to kill all of them. So
put them out their misery.
Yeah, exactly.
Dark.
Speaking of robots, the freaking ticks are so annoying.
Oh god, there's a really funny thing that, sorry for bringing this back to Apex Legends, but it's very unrelated to that. So it's more related to Titanfall 2, I promise. But so in Apex Legends there's the loot boxes, and then you can kind of find the loot boxes in the map. Occasionally you'll see them and they'll make a noise and you can punch them and get some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Someone who had come over to Titanfall 2, it's just a post on Reddit, but they're saying how someone who had been brought into Titanfall 2 because of Apex Legends, they'd seen them come in and see a tick running at them and go, "Oh, loot!" and punch it. And obviously that is not what you want to do to a tick.
Nah. But they're red and glowing.
They're the worst. They were the worst part of Titanfall 2. Actually, no, the Reapers are the worst part of Titanfall 2, but the Reapers seem to be the worst part of literally every game with a Reaper in.
The Reapers, are they the smaller mechs?
No, yeah. The ones that I think they're in that boss fight against Ash a lot. They're in other points as well, but the smaller mechs that that just kind of get in your way and be dicks.
Yeah, you can't step on them, and they take like a lot of shooting to bring them down.
Yeah,
but they don't seem to do any damage to you. So
you think they don't, and then you get surrounded by like 10, and suddenly you're dead. It's the worst part of like the multiplayer or whatever it's called. The what's the name of their wave-based game? Frontier Defense.
Oh, that's right. It. Okay, I didn't realize there was a mode for that. Okay.
Frontier Defense is cool. You should.
Yes, Frontier Defense is cool.
Not quite as good.
Is it co-op?
It's 4-player.
So it's effectively just Horde, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and they had a Frontier Defense in Titanfall 1, and people were calling it, since Titanfall 2 came out, people were asking for it. And it's very different, but it's still incredible.
Okay.
But
I don't think I'm gonna play Titanfall 2 again because I'm gonna play Apex Legends.
Oh yeah, but also if Xbox comes and you get Titanfall 2 on it, and we can all play Frontier Defense together.
I'd have to get it on the Xbox.
Oh, do you not have it on the Xbox? To be fair, it's only like £5.
Yeah, I've got it on the PC. That's why I played it before.
Maybe I need to get really a PC.
Cheap, yeah.
Maybe you need to get it on your Mac. Yeah.
I don't think it would work.
Not if you boot Windows, right?
I feel like it just won't be a powerful enough machine for that. Right?
Source Engine, come on.
It's really giving a lot of credit.
Yeah, but it's a Mac. They're not good at games.
Nah, man, they got Half-Life 2 running on the original Xbox. Like, running all right. It had a lot more loads in it. The levels were a lot cut up into smaller chunks, but they did get Half-Life 2 running okay on the original Xbox. Source Engine is all right.
Impressive, because that machine is...
Yeah.
Bad.
That wasn't the best version of that game to play, but you could play it on the console if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you really wanted to, if you really needed it.
If it was your only option, then yes.
Yeah. If you felt like having a bad time and making a mistake, you could do that.
That's the tagline for Xbox. Only the original one. The new ones are fine.
Do you want to have a bad time and make a mistake? Also Halo.
Yeah, basically. Which I think is why they're pivoting to the software bit, right?
Yeah.
Like, they seem to have this emphasis on putting Xbox Live on everything and having, if the rumors are true, having Games Pass on, like, the Switch and stuff like that. Because if they do that, then they don't have to worry that Halo is going to be on the PC and there's now no reason for anybody to buy an Xbox.
Yeah, like, it makes sense for them, doesn't it? Like, they don't actually... They don't care if you own their box, if you're going to be paying them... £5 a month for Game Pass and £8 a month for Xbox Live or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I buy it a year. I bought Xbox Live for a year, so I don't know how much it costs per month.
It's £40 for the year, right?
Yeah. Well, there we go then. So yeah, they don't. If you want to be paying them that on a regular schedule, they don't really care if you pay £250 one time for a console.
No, exactly. And I think I really like that idea because it means when the next Xbox comes out with Halo on it, I can not get it. I can get a PC instead. And then I can get a PlayStation and play all of those games.
I feel like this week 343 actually came out and said, nah, Halo Infinite is definitely a current gen game.
Did they really?
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I actually heard that on a podcast this week. It's like 343 actually said, like, I know y'all are tripping, but it is a current gen game. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be like split gen. It's not going to be like Assassin's Creed 4 or whatever, and it's going to come to both.
Yeah.
But I feel like I definitely heard that they're saying it's going to at least run on the Xbox One.
Okay.
The last hurrah of the Xbox One. It's going to be like Xbox's Last of Us 2. It's going to be something that comes in right at the end and is like, here we go, finish the console off with something that it takes full advantage of it.
Which I think would be good, because I mean, Halo have kind of done that. They did that with the Xbox 360, right? Reach was sort of very end of life. Take advantage of it. It didn't come out right at the end, but...
I mean, 4 was...
4 was end of life, wasn't it?
It? And to be fair, 4 looks fucking good.
Yeah, it really does.
Something that I think 4 does not get enough credit for is Halo 4 is a fucking good-looking video game for an Xbox 360 game.
You kind of forget that it's Xbox 360. It feels like the sort of polish of an Xbox One game.
Yeah.
And I think that might just be the difference between 343 and Bungie, right? Is that a big part of... Bungie went for a very sort of gritty feel, especially as they got to Reach, right? The more fidelity they had in their graphics, the more dirt they added, because they could.
Oh, I love dirt.
And then 343 were kind of just like, why don't we not have dirt, since the Master Chief is back on his station? You'd think he'd probably keep his stuff clean.
Why don't we make it look like a sweet fucking future Call of Duty game and give it all this wicked detail in all the guns?
And they did, to be fair.
They did.
But then they brought out Halo 5 and it looks a little bit plasticky, so...
They went too far?
Yeah.
They went a little bit too far, yeah.
That's a shame.
And that's one of these things that people are calling for the MCC on PC, is that they've got this whole... you can't customize your armor, you have to pick from sets for Halo 3. Whereas obviously on the Xbox you could pick like your shoulders, you could pick each shoulder and your helmet and all of that, and people are being like, you really need to bring back the customization for PC, because especially for Reach, that's a big part of it.
Yeah. How come they removed that ability for the PC? Is it just...
Probably just to make it easier, because you don't have that customization in every... You don't have that customization in like Halo 1 and 2, and just to make it like easier going into Halo 3, I imagine. Also, it's like 5 games in one.
Well, but they said they're going to release it one after the other, right? They're not all in
Yeah,
one
the
go.
PC release is really weird. They're starting with Reach,
What?
then going 1, 2, 3, ODST, 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
They're
guess it gives...
starting with Reach and then putting everything else out in a weird order, which is bizarre, but fine, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, that is the order we played when we did our Halo Marathon, isn't it?
I think we started
it's
with 1.
the chronological order, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Except for I don't... Well, I think if it was chronological, wouldn't they do 2 then ODST, technically?
ODST is kind of strange, right? ODST... Oh, yeah, I guess.
Oh, yeah, like the thing that makes ODST happen is
It's the end of 2.
Middle of 2,
Middle of
isn't
2,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess you don't really know... Because the end of 2 after that is quite quick. And then 3 carries on straight away.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
I think
It is a
ODST
weird
is
thing,
kind of
isn't it?
like concurrent with the end of 2/3.
Yeah, I suppose that is true, isn't it? Man, Halo's pretty fucking good. Let's play some Halo.
Oh, that's what I'm going to do next, probably.
We were going to play Halo, was it last weekend or the weekend before?
And then we just played Apex Legends instead.
Like all day. Shit.
It's because that game is like 70 gigabytes, and well, it's more than that, I think.
Yeah, I was
good
checking
lord.
the install size for the Master Chief Collection, and it was like 90 gig.
Yeah,
I'm like, I have a 500 gig hard
insane.
drive in this Xbox.
Yeah, I had to get rid of. That's why I had to re-download Halo, because
Because it was too big.
it's too big. It takes up most of your space, especially if you've got MCC and Halo 5.
Which I do.
Yeah, it's too much. It's ridiculous.
Too much.
But yeah, I mean,
were we talking
sci-fi
about
shooters,
again?
man. Titanfall 2. It's just brought us into my realm. Futuristic shooters is where it's at. Military shooters, especially.
So something we've all played, and I think is an argument that I had for like all of 2016 with Dylan, and it's something we can bring back to the table here, and I think is a really interesting comparison. Is Doom 2016, the other incredible single-player first-person shooter campaign from 2016. How do you think it compares, Kyaw?
Oh, man. It's like picking your favorite child.
It's tough, isn't it?
You obviously have a
Dylan and I
favourite.
argued about this for like all of 2016, literally.
Oh, man. Oh, no. As pacing, I prefer Titanfall 2 because it's really short and sweet. I don't know, man.
As a form of catharsis, Doom is definitely better.
So because that's it, isn't it? They're both quick. They're both like super fast-paced games, and they both have like breadth of mechanics to their standard gameplay. But I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Whereas Doom is like, here is like a much longer experience where we just ramp up your need to engage with all the mechanics you already have access to until the very, very end. You're just like having to use every gun and every secondary ability, and you're having to use all the different melee and chainsaw and everything else to get through these huge, difficult combat arenas. Whereas Titanfall 2 is like, here's all this cool stuff you can do, and then every 45 minutes we're going to give you half an hour of something fucking new and wild you've never seen before, and it's going to be super cool and tuned entirely to that, and then it just kind of does that for like 5 hours, 6 hours, and then you're done.
Yeah, they're very different, I think, aren't they? It's very hard to... Despite how similar they are, like you say, they're, in terms of being this fast-paced, motion-based future shooter, you've got completely different experiences, which I think is quite remarkable. But one of them is definitely just set piece after set piece, and the other is just demon after demon. And so I think they are very like, if you want to have this sort of incredible story and experience, I think Titanfall 2 would be where I go. But then if you just want to get in and shoot a bunch of stuff and just fucking rip and tear to your heart's content, then obviously Doom, right?
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot more variety in Doom as well in terms of monsters and weapons. At least the weapons in Doom are way more iconic than Titanfall. Even though they both feel very well to play. The weapons are very well handled. But there's just more in Doom, I'd say.
I think there's less weapons, but they kind of each weapon very much fills its niche. Whereas Titanfall 2, there's a lot of crossover, isn't there? So like, there's a few SMGs, and like, obviously an assault rifle and an SMG aren't so different. And
Titanfall 2 is more of like it's got a bit more of the modern military like Call of Duty edge to it. So it is like, well, you've got your 5 pistols, and one of them's a revolver, and one of them's an auto pistol, and you've got all your different assault rifles and different shotguns. And whereas Doom's just like, you get your pistol, shotgun, assault rifle, and then it gets weird.
It's a big fucking gun.
I don't know. I think you could have the argument back and forth forever, and it would be impossible to come to, I think, like a definitive answer about which is superior. But it is like Titanfall 2 is like the best roller coaster you ever go on, but when you're done with that roller coaster, you're like, man, that was fucking cool, but also that was like 10 minutes. Whereas Doom is like, I don't know, it's like almost like running a marathon. Like, you get to the end of it and you're like, this was long, but the feeling of total fucking catharsis and achievement is like, by the end of this, I have mastered this.
Yeah.
I
think there's also an element for Doom. Doom is at its funnest when it's really, really hard. Like you were saying when we had our Doom conversation, that playing it on its harder difficulties is what makes it incredible.
Yeah, because you are just forced to use every part of the bison straight away.
You're forced into the mechanics, right? You have to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas Titanfall 2, I think, gives you more opportunity to use those mechanics even when it's not so hard, because I think the mechanics in that are more about moving around, so you kind of just want to do it.
It's actually almost... I feel that the game is much better when it's not really hard. When they're not throwing a lot of enemies at you in
it's easier to do cooler shit when you're not just being gangbanged by a bunch of guys with assault rifles.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I just think, what a fucking year for first-person shooters. Because that was also the year where we had one of the best Call of Duty campaigns in a long time as well. Infinite Warfare is legit.
Yeah.
It's got Jon Snow in it.
Did it?
It's not a very good performance from Kit Harington, bless him. It is, in fact, I would in fact argue it's quite a weak performance from Kit Harington. It made me reevaluate if maybe the fact that he plays Jon Snow so well is because he's just a fucking simpering buffoon, and that's all he can do, and that's just like his entire acting range.
He's not actually good in any other films either.
He was on what was it? I think Stephen Colbert talking about this, and made a very funny joke about how playing Jon Snow is easy because it was just like bad acting. Like, he just didn't have to show any emotion, so it made it quite easy for him.
It's just like, Jon Snow is just kind of, bless him. Well, either way, Infinite Warfare is pretty good, in spite of Kit Harington just like shouting a lot about the freedom of Mars.
Oh, Mars should be free, though.
It should always be free.
Yeah, it was a good year for games. It was a solid year for first-person shooters, 2016.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. There's not really been such a impactful first-person shooter, at least that I can think of immediately. Obviously, that's not the best judge. No. I'm saying since.
Since 2016. Yeah. No, I don't think that has.
Because I mean, like, the Battlefield 5 kind of flopped. Nobody bought it.
Yeah, although the new Battle Royale looks fun.
I still think, I know that you guys said you don't think it fills the same niche, but honestly, this is the third squad-based multiplayer game that EA are releasing within 2 months of each other. Although I don't know when Battlefield is coming out. So.
I don't know, but that it's planned though. People knew it's coming way before Apex Legends dropped.
Yeah, but it's a lot of squad-based multiplayer shooters.
It's
different things though, right? Anthem is
very different.
It's theoretically a loot shooter, though my understanding is it kind of fails in both regards and is more just a jetpack game.
To be fair though, jetpack game does sound pretty good, doesn't it?
And then I guess Battlefield 5 is. I think it plays in a different space than Apex Legends. Like, it's not character based. It's not fantastical. It's even though people will say it's not as it's not the Battlefield of old. Battlefield still has a bent towards the more like tactical squad-paced gameplay, right? It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's.
I think it will be a different niche.
It's a weird move on EA's part for sure,
Yeah,
but I
do
don't necessarily think they're exactly. I don't think that Venn diagram's a circle.
No, me neither. But I'm just worried that maybe it's really only equivalent to a slightly elongated circle.
Honestly, I wonder if unless Battlefield 5 already hasn't set the world on fire, right? And I don't necessarily know if them adding a battle royale mode is going to help. Whereas Apex Legends is free, like is it more likely that Apex Legends takes the wind out of the Battlefield 5 battle royale? Isn't it more likely people just go, well, why would I play the paid one that I haven't got? That I could just keep playing this free one that everybody is playing. Yeah. It's the reason that Fortnite managed to gut PUBG so quickly. It's because at some point it was like, it was you could play it for free, and PUBG also like was mishandled terribly. It shouldn't have taken them 18 months to have their first sale. Like, that game should not have been £27 for the entire time that it was popular.
Actually, I think PUBG people might appreciate the Battlefield Battle Royale because they share the same kind of realistic space, right? And they
that
both
is
have,
actually possible.
vehicles.
Maybe Battlefield will be to PUBG what Apex was to Fortnite.
Oh,
yeah, maybe. Like Battlefield does have a more like PC centric crowd. Also, like I could see that happening.
But it's PC Battle Royales though. There's been a lot of issue with that at the moment, hasn't there?
Well, no fucker playing them.
No, just anybody who is being destroyed by Chinese hackers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, Apex Legends has an
like,
awful problem at the moment.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
okay.
Like the player base is actually calling for Respawn to set up Chinese-only servers.
Yeah,
because there's such a problem with that.
And you see videos of it, and it's just like they'll just have like aimbots on, so they just shoot everybody in the head immediately, no matter what. And their characters run at like 8 times the speed and all this nonsense.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Is there a way to turn in-game currency into real-life currency in Apex Legends?
No.
I don't think so.
Right. Because I guess in PUBG the reason it became such a problem in PUBG is because you could, by leveling up faster, you get more loot crates, and then you can sell what you get in the loot crates on the Steam marketplace. So you can turn in-game experience into money, which therefore means if you can hack to get more experience, you get more real-life money. So there's a reason that they still haven't been able to fucking fix that problem, because people keep getting around it because you can make money from it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
But I don't know if I don't think, because it doesn't have a real money marketplace because it's not hooked into Steam. I guess Apeleg doesn't actually have a way to turn hacked experience into money.
Which is so weird that people do it anyway.
Maybe they just sell accounts with like fully decked out skins and characters for less than if you were to pay for it legally.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, I guess paying for it legally, like some of those legendary skins are like fucking £20 a pop or something ridiculous, aren't they?
The skins aren't. The characters are like. No, the characters are £7. I don't know.
I feel like some of the legendary skins, like,
you
actually
have to,
are really expensive.
They're 1,800 coins, which is you effectively have to spend $20.
There we go. Yeah.
So it's more like
that's what.
I think it's more like £10.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's £8 for 1,000 credits, and so you need to buy 2, and then you're not using all of it. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so you could see a world in which they're hacking to get decked out accounts. It'd just be like, here's my password. Just selling, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's madness, though. Absolute madness.
Yeah, but it's nice that it's happening for Respawn to bring it sort of background.
God, they must be the golden fucking goose around EA at the moment. Holy shit.
Yeah, and like it's just so nice to see that, because having had this experience with, I was playing Titanfall. I didn't play it from the beginning. I got it in a sale with Battlefield.
I remember.
And just played that shit non-stop for ages. And now to see people actually caring, and like to see more players on Titanfall 2 now than there really ever were when I actually played it, which is mad.
That's fucking great though. Also, shout out to Titanfall 2. Holy shit.
Because more people like you're saying, not even just the multiplayer, the campaign as well. More people need to play it, and I think
it's like required playing for if you like first-person shooters.
Yeah,
it's like you fucking have to play Titanfall 2
yeah.
campaign. Holy crap!
I think it sort of does it so uniquely and so well that it's just ridiculous that you wouldn't play it.
Yeah, man, totally.
But
yeah, Respawn must be. I hope that they handle it well. I hope that EA doesn't mishandle them, right? Because like
they so easily could.
Think about all the other studios that EA have bought. They've produced incredible content. EA has milked them into the ground. Look at BioWare.
God, yeah.
Rip. BioWare.
Look at BioWare. Like, people thought Mass Effect Andromeda was bad, and then Anthem came out, which like that game was hard crashing people's PlayStations and like accidentally corrupting data and shit. Like,
yeah,
Anthem's fucked. Like,
and
BioWare have one chance left to make a good game with that new Dragon Age that got announced, and if they don't nail that, they're just fucked.
Yeah, it would be the death. What's the word? I don't know. You know what I mean.
The death knell.
Death knell. I was thinking knell, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to embarrass myself. But now I have. So.
Okay.
But yeah, like Anthem is one of those weird ones because I played the beta and it's a fun. Like, it feels really fun, but I can't really imagine how you'd spend so much time in it. And I think it's very similar to what happened with Destiny, right? It's got this really nice mechanic to it, but nothing else.
Yeah.
So there is potential, I think, for if it starts working on consoles. I
guess like I haven't played Anthem, but from everything I've heard about it, it's like the thing with Destiny was, okay, the good mechanic was all the shooting. The good mechanic was the thing you did all the time. There just wasn't enough of it. Whereas Anthem's like, the shooting doesn't feel very good, apparently.
Yeah, it's not great.
Apparently the jetpack stuff is really good, but they intentionally limit how much of that you can do.
Yeah.
So then it's like, there's not that much content. You already limit the amount of time I can do the fun thing. The shooting's not that good. So like it's like it doesn't even, it's like it's worse than Destiny, because at least Destiny was like, well, just playing it's all right. There's just not that much to play, and you can add more shit. Anthem's like, you've fundamentally designed a game where playing it doesn't even feel that good.
Yeah.
You want me to keep playing it for as long as possible?
I guess that's true, because like that's kind of what we've always said about Destiny, right? Is that even though there's not much, playing it feels incredible to play it. You can play it just like, great. I wish I could be playing this more, but there's not enough. And then by the time there is enough, it's kind of like, oh, but actually now I'm a billion levels behind everybody else.
Yep.
So yeah, I see. Like, it was easier to improve Destiny, whereas Anthem is like you say, you just make it all jetpacks.
Well, even I played the beta. I think maybe it's because I'm playing on the PC, but the flying didn't feel good either. I just couldn't fly well.
I thought the flying, maybe it is PC, because I think on the controller it was quite intuitive. It was a little bit limited. Like, it wasn't. But there was a few finickinesses to it.
There's a cooldown on the flying. Like, what's the point of your game? It's the whole game is flying, and there's just you can't stay in the air forever.
They didn't want the whole game to be flying, I guess. They wanted it to be a bit more tactical and using everything together. Because I thought,
from the sounds of it sounds like they should have made all the bits that aren't flying better then.
Yeah, they really should have. But I thought the way they did the flying and the cooldown was actually quite fun, because like, if you fly close to water, it keeps you cooled down, so you can fly forever. Like, you can keep flying, and stuff like that. And I thought all of that was quite a cool idea. But had they then had like Destiny level shooting quality, it would have been great. It would have been incredible. But yeah, they didn't. And apparently all the guns are basically the same gun.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, from looking at it, from just watching some gameplay footage of it, it doesn't even look like they've got their combat mechanics down as like fluid and dynamic as Mass Effect Andromeda. And like, if there's one thing you can say about Mass Effect Andromeda, like, it has some problems. It was profoundly disappointing in a lot of ways, but the shooting in that game and like the combat powers and shit, it's really fucking good. Like, it's a good playing game. It's just, as a Mass Effect game, literally heartbreaking, and they killed Mass Effect. But like, yeah, from just looking at Anthem, it's like, how have you? Because like, a lot of the combat is the same. It's like you've got your weapons, you've got your like magic abilities, effectively, you've got like your biotics or tech abilities, whatever the fuck. And it seems like a lot of it is pretty similar, but it looks less fun and dynamic than it was in Mass Effect Andromeda.
I guess because it has to be limited to an extent so that you can work together rather than just being this one-man killing machine. So. They kind of want you to... Because your abilities can stack up together to sort of combo, almost.
Yeah, because that's what it does in Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, you can do like biotic or tech like detonations off each other. So you can have like your Taurian squad mate use one attack that puts a certain bonus on them, and then you hit them with a different attack, and they'll detonate off each other and do all this crazy explosion shit. That's what I mean. Like, a lot of the mechanics of the combat seem to be pretty much directly based on the way that the combat was in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Just done worse.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, I mean, it is really sad to see. I think Anthem is weird as well. It could have been... If they had just made it a single-player campaign game where you do all this stuff, I think it would have been really cool.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed it way more.
Like,
I mean, I
just had that sort of flying mechanic to fly around, put it in this cool world, and take out all of the games as a service stuff. It could have been great. I think it had the potential to be a really fun thing, but it just doesn't have this, like, why would I stick around on this game that feels a bit ugh? But yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen to Respawn as well.
Yeah, man.
Because they've already been fucked over by people once.
Yeah, like, if you look at the long list of studios that EA has killed, I'm going to say that it's not looking good.
No.
The future for Respawn, I reckon they've got another couple of good games left in them before Vince Zampella does what he did with his last studio, leaves, makes Fight and Tool, I don't know. And the whole cycle begins again.
No, Half-Life 3. That's what
yeah, well, that's it. Vince Zampella leaves, and there's like, Gabe, come on. You haven't made a game in a very long time, and the last game you made failed spectacularly.
God, yeah. Okay, Gabe, look what I can do with your Source engine.
Look what I can do with your Source engine. Give me Source 2. Let's fucking go. We've got a time limit. So, Shaw, do you have any closing thoughts on Titanfall 2 before we wrap up? Because I know Dylan has to bounce in a couple of minutes.
I do, yeah.
The Smart Pistol. Yes.
Oh, the Seer kit. Whoa.
That's
and
all
it's
I
so
got.
clever they give it to you at that point in the game as well, when you're so used to all the mechanics.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, here's a gun that aims and shoots for you. Now go on a fucking rampage.
Oh.
Man.
I'm really glad they took it out of the multiplayer, because I think it does overpower you. But I'm so glad that it's in that last bit. It's just the ultimate culmination of that game.
It's not in the multiplayer either. What?
No.
That's sad.
No.
It's only in the circuit.
Wow.
Was it survive, evade, recon, escape or something?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, the people complained a lot about it in Titanfall 1 because they were like, oh, it's game breaking and it's cheating. And it's like, it's not, because it takes a while to lock on. And like, if you're good at Titanfall, someone with a smart pistol will not beat you, because it takes them longer to kill you than it takes for you to kill them.
Yeah.
Right.
The only reason... Because it only, like, takes down the standard grunts really quickly anyway, doesn't it? Like, if you try to use it against another pilot, it takes like a fair bit of shooting to actually
You have to get like 6 locks on them, which takes like a few seconds. It's enough for them... And because it tells you if you're being locked on, it's enough for them to take you down. So if you're being aware, it wasn't. It may be a little bit overpowered because you could just run around killing grunts and be the leader of the game, just by avoiding pilots, which I did a few times. But like, it wasn't completely game breaking, so it's a little bit sad they took it out. But I think if they'd left it in and Titanfall 2 had become this super popular game, which it didn't, but whatever, then people would have really complained about it. It would have been... Because you'd have had people who are shit at the game just being like, whoa, this is ridiculous. And then not being able to use it themselves, which is already
Fucking
happening.
hacks.
Yeah, exactly. But that last bit of that entire game is just the ultimate culmination of like the Titanfall experience.
This is Titanfall, yeah.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
That's like the message of that bit. Oh, it's such a good game.
Right, so we're all going to play Titanfall for the rest of the day. Fuck, man. It's a good game. I hope one
Hot
day they get
take.
to make a third one.
Titanfall's good.
I really hope that at some point they get to make a Titanfall 3. You'd think at the moment they're at least in the warm, fuzzy EA honeymoon period where EA can just be like, okay, make a Titanfall 3.
Oh, God, I hope so.
You earned it. Unless they shit the bed with this Star Wars game. And then in which case games will be like, fuck you.
That'll be something to look forward to, yes.
Well, yeah, we'll see. There's going to be an announcement about that in like a month.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like mid-April, during Star Wars Week. I think
Yes.
they're going to finally show what the fuck that game is.
Oh, I hope so.
It's just going to be Vince Bella wearing a hat that says more information on it than just the logo of the game. It's going to be great. Right. Dylan, wrap us up.
Right. You can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes at All Backed Up, and Video Game SOS. Nailed it.
Ting.
You can find us on YouTube at Low Expectation Media in the All Backed Up playlist, along with all of our other wonderful content. And
Yeah, this is true.
that's us. Maybe now that Chaw's back on the show again, he'll do something with the social media. Maybe he'll make us a good logo instead of just white on black.
I'm actually wearing a Chaw original logo design right now on my body.
Aw.
Fun fact.
What?
Yeah, I'm wearing a Chaw original on a t-shirt.
The vegan...
It's the vegan situation
yeah.
t-shirt.
Ah, shit, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I completely
pimpin'.
forgot about that.
Yeah, me too. I found it in my wardrobe the other day and was like, shit, I haven't worn this t-shirt in literally years. And so I'm wearing it right now.
Nice, dude.
Wonderful.
Yeah, a Chaw original. It's great. Well, I say Chaw original. It's a Chaw Photoshop of some other design.
Yeah, definitely.
A Chaw plagiarism.
That's me. Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
That has been us. See you next week for some more talk about Titanfall 2. Bye.
I'm going to play a whole bunch of Tomb Raider, so I'll talk about that.
Nice.
oh cool.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.